The morning had a gentle warmth to it, the kind that made you want to stay tucked under covers forever. Amy was curled up beside me, her body molded perfectly to mine, just as it had been for the last 20 years. I held her close, breathing in the scent of her hair, memories of our shared life rising like a tide, our first awkward dates, the day we said I do, the sleepless nights after our daughters were born just a year apart. We walked through so much together, watched our girls transform from chatterbox toddlers to college-bound young women. The house was quiet again, still familiar. I kissed the top of her head, my voice soft with nostalgia. 2 decades gone in a flash. She smiled, her fingers absent-mindedly tracing shapes on my chest. Now that it's just us again, I added, maybe we can get back to where we started, just the two of us. Her laughter was light, teasing. We're not fresh out of the honeymoon phase anymore, she said, but that doesn't mean we can't still surprise each other. I smiled too, my hand brushing hers. Her skin was as smooth as ever, and the peace of the moment made my eyelids grow heavy. She pressed closer, sighing contentedly. "Tim," she murmured after a while, her voice sure. "Being with you like this, it means everything to me. I know you feel it too. What we have, it's real, strong. I don't ever want to lose that." I didn't respond with words. I didn't need to. She kissed me again, longer this time, her hand resting on my chest. "I want to grow old with you," she whispered. "Laugh with our grandkids. Hold hands on the porch. Be that couple everyone envies." I nodded, half asleep, half dreaming. Then she said something that stirred me. "But before all that, before the grandkids and the porch swing, I want to do something wild. One last big thing before we settle." My eyes blinked open. I turned slightly, trying to make sense of what she'd said. "Wild?" Amy looked unsure, then nodded. "Yeah, something just for me. An experience, before time slips through our fingers." I sat up a little, the cozy calm unraveling. "So not something we do together?" She hesitated. "You could do your own version of it, but this one's more for me." That didn't sit right. I sat up fully. "Amy, what's going on?" She drew in a deep breath. "You know Dan from sales? He and his brother bought a sailboat. Susan from work went with them last weekend. Said it was incredible. I said it sounded fun and, well, Dan invited me, and you technically, to join them next weekend. It's Labor Day, so 3 days. I stared at her. "You want to go sailing with some guy I don't even know?" She nodded, almost sheepish. "Susan said it was amazing." A cold knot formed in my chest. "She's single." "You're not." Amy reached for her phone. "But the boat, it's stunning. I have pictures, you'll see." I cut her off. "That's not the point. You want to spend a long weekend with 2 guys who just invited 2 women to be on their boat? Do you hear how that sounds?" She looked down, her voice barely a whisper. "I never said I'd do anything with them." I raised an eyebrow. "Did Susan?" Her silence was louder than any answer. "Yes," she admitted finally, "but that doesn't mean I would." I stood up, the floor cold beneath my feet, my pulse hammering. "So the adventure isn't really about the sea. It's about pretending you're someone else for a while. Free, unattached." She reached out for me, panic flickering in her eyes. "No, it was just a fantasy, a stupid idea. I wasn't thinking." My throat felt tight. I believed we were still in this together, that we were building the next chapter. Now I'm not so sure. Tears welled up as she stood, her voice shaking. "I love you. I swear I do. I was just foolish, caught up in a story that wasn't mine." I looked away, everything inside me in motion. Just minutes ago, I had been completely at peace, wrapped up in love and history. Now all I felt was distance and selfish. Forget I ever brought it up. I turned away, stepping into the bathroom and locking the door behind me. The steaming water beat down on my back, but it couldn't wash away the churn in my stomach. How could she even consider something like that? When I finally came out, she was curled up on the bed, her face buried in her hands, shoulders trembling with quiet sobs. As soon as she heard me, she looked up. Her eyes were puffy and red from crying. "I never questioned you for 22 years, I said softly, brushing her hair back from her face. Not once did I doubt us. Until today. Her crying deepened. "I'm so sorry," she gasped. "While you were in there, I kept thinking. If it had been you telling me 2 women had asked to go away with them, I would have been sick. How could I have been so selfish, so blind?" I didn't speak, not right away. The harm had already been done. The trust we'd spent decades building no longer felt solid. "What now?" I finally asked. She sat up, wiping her face. "I'll call Susan. I'll tell her I'm not going. And Dan, I'll make it clear that what he did was out of line. I'll even quit my job if that's what it takes. Maybe I'll go work at your sister's bakery. Just somewhere normal, where people don't think that kind of thing is okay." I watched her carefully. She looked honest. She sounded sincere. But still, something deep inside me had shifted. "Please, Tim," she whispered, "let me fix this." I didn't know if I could ever fully forget, but I also wasn't ready to throw away everything we had. So I nodded. Amy clung to me, whispering apologies, clinging to hope. She kissed me over and over, begging for another chance. Healing wasn't fast. It came in slow, uneven steps. But Amy meant what she said. She quit her job and started working at my sister's bakery, throwing herself into the routine. The subject of adventure never came up again. Years later, when we were retired, she turned to me one lazy morning, a mischievous sparkle in her eye. "Now that we're officially old and boring," she teased, "how about one last adventure? Just you and me?" I laughed, pulling her close. "That sounds perfect." And it truly was. Those first days after conversation were hard. The air between us stayed tight and uneasy. Amy didn't waste time. She called Susan and shut the idea down with firm, final voice. Then she confronted Dan, made her stance clear. But the cracks were already there. Even when she smiled, I saw the shadow of the woman who, if only for a moment, thought about trading our life for something impulsive. That thought stuck in my mind. A week later, we sat at dinner in silence. "You're still hurt," Amy said softly, moving food around her plate without really eating. I put down my fork. "I'm not angry," I said. "I'm just trying to understand." She nodded slowly. "I told you I wasn't thinking. It was a mistake." "But you were thinking," I said. "You thought about it enough to bring it up, to imagine it." Tears welled up again in her eyes. "I love you, Tim. I don't want anyone else." It was just a moment, a dumb, fleeting moment where I wondered what it would feel like to do something different. "Different," I repeated. She flinched. "That's not how I meant it." I leaned back, taking a breath. "I'm not sure I can let this go. Every time I close my eyes, I hear you say you wanted something else." She reached across the table and wrapped her fingers around mine. "Then let's find something new together," she said quietly. "Just us. Something to remind us who we are." I hesitated. A part of me wanted to pull back, to protect myself. But another part, the part that had loved her for over 20 years, still wanted to believe in us. "Like what?" I asked. Her face lit up with the smallest smile. "Remember that road trip we always talked about? Up the coast, no plan, no schedule, going wherever we feel like." I did remember. It had been our dream once, back when life was too chaotic to make it happen. "You're serious?" I asked. She nodded. "I'll take time off. We can leave this weekend. No pressure. Just us." I looked at her, really looked. The same woman I'd shared my life with. The same eyes I'd fallen in love with. Maybe we still had more to write together. I squeezed her hand. "Okay," I said. "Let's do it."